Hello, guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the Lead In, which will be episode 2. And today we're going to cover about 4 games, including the midweek special between Liverpool and Tottenham. But firstly, we want to look at the struggling teams, the struggling sides in the Premier League at the moment. And I'm joined by Tinashe, Nakai, and Tariro this evening. So we're going to look at Arsenal versus Burnley. And I just want to hear everyone's predictions and their thoughts based on the two sides. Both sides are struggling. 1 win in the last 5. Arsenal have lost 3 in the last 5. Burnley have 2 losses and 2 draws on top of that 1 win. So I just want to hear what everyone says. And I think I will start with Nakai.
Right, okay. So I think looking at the game, right, from surface level, you would think, oh yeah, Arsenal's got this in the bag, Arsenal can win, Arsenal this and that, right? But personally, guys, if we look at Burnley, right, first of all, they drew against Everton. This is Everton we're talking about, which is, we can consider them a big team. This is Everton. And also, if you look at the players from Burnley, they're strong, they're tall, they're strong, and just muscle mass compared to some of those Arsenal players. If you look at Hector Bellerin, honestly, do you think Hector Bellerin, with his stature and his, muscle mass, like he's not strong enough to be able to defend against some of those Burnley players? Because that's Burnley's advantage. They're tall and strong. So personally, I feel like Arsenal is going to be in for a very tough game. Physically, definitely, 100%. So I think I'm going to say my prediction is a draw. That is my prediction. Arsenal will actually be lucky to get away with a draw, in my opinion.
But don't you think that with don't you think these are the type of games that Arteta wants with what he's trying to implement, when certain teams drop back and they let them have the ball and they can play? What do you think about that?
Definitely. I think when Arteta saw the match, he's probably like, okay, guys, like we can, this is the game we need to take 3 points from. But judging from how the other games have gone and how Burnley's games have gone as well, I don't think it's going to be a walkover like he would have thought before. Definitely, I don't think. And also, I think tactically, Arteta's lost. Judging off of how he was playing the team against Tottenham. I think, even like Jamie Carragher, yeah, exactly. He was saying it was as if Arteta landed here from the moon and he had never played football before. He didn't even know what was going on, because it's like tactically he was all over the place. So now going against this team, this Burnley team, right? Initially one would think, Arsenal's winning, but judging from the Arsenal's previous games and Burnley's previous games, I think it's gonna be. I still think it's not gonna be a walkover, and it'll be a draw. That's my prediction.
Okay. I think we can go on to Arteta's number 1 fan, Tinashe.
But look at Tariro, guys. He's writing facts down so that he, at the end, is gonna be able to defend Arsenal and defend his club, rebut every point.
Arsenal fans.
But in all seriousness, guys, I think this is gonna be the first Arsenal versus Burnley match ever in the history of football whereby I actually think that Burnley is gonna create more chances. And you know how defensive Burnley is, and you know how can I put it? How much they lack creativity in that Burnley side. But I'll give Burnley the win just because I think at the end of the match they're gonna have a goal, like maybe 8 shots versus Arsenal's 2. So it's just gonna be mathematical at the end of the day. 8 shots, maybe 6 on target, you get 2 goals. Then Arsenal, unfortunately, they just can't score when the game is in open place. Yeah, I'm giving Burnley the win. Yeah, I don't see how Arsenal can win this match. And I just have to say, I think Arteta, come on. If they lose this one, if the board doesn't have the balls to sack him, he should just walk away as a man, take some dignity, the dignity that's left of you, just resign from this job and let the team move on with better coaching.
Okay. And we can leave time to the Arsenal man himself.
Yes, to start with, I'm going to expose myself because I am an Arsenal fan and I've got inherent bias in this. However, I just have to look at the manner in which we have been playing in the last few games. Number one, we have been poor. Secondly, we have been destroying it. Thirdly, we lack flair. This is not the Arsenal that we know. This is not the Arsenal football. It's now some booze that we are not used to. So, having said that, I think I'm afraid that we might lose this game if we continue playing like we have been playing before. But with the stakes that are in this game, I think that Arteta is very much aware of what awaits him if we are to lose this game. So I expect him to put everything that he has, to throw everything that he has against this Burnley side. So I predict a 2-0 win for us, of course, because as we speak, there's so much pressure on the guys, there's so much pressure on the coach. I hold the view that he's going to put something up his sleeve, something up his sleeve to win this game. However, whether we win, draw or lose, Arteta just has to go. Is like what Nadia said, it's high time for him. His future certainly does not depend on the game. He has shown that for now at least he's not up there tactical. He's not up there. Doesn't have the mental character needed to drive a team like Arsenal. And I was one of the people who made noise when he was appointed because I said this is a big side. Someone has got some sort of experience, and they were saying he was an assistant coach when whatnot. But you need someone who has got some experience, who is proven, who has a track record, who can take over this side and make wonders. Yeah, I think that Arteta is not up to scratch. I think that Arteta does not have what it takes for now to lead this big side.
But don't you think, go on.
Sorry, quickly. It's just a small thing.
Yeah,
just to add, I think the key word mentioned there is disjointed, right?
Yes.
Because let's not lie, right? Arsenal individually, they do have good players, if we're going to be honest. Aubameyang, Lacazette, etc., they are good players. But if there's no connection between them, the team can't do well. The team can't perform in games. They're all disjointed. It's like they're all playing in 5 different matches. Like they're not all on the pitch together. They're not all playing the same game. There's no connection between them. So I think they also need a manager that, I don't know how, but to reignite that connection between those players, especially up front. I think that's the only way that Arsenal will go back to, the potential or to go back to how they were before.
We have that state of affairs because we lack creativity. The coach, in his wisdom, or more appropriately, he has exiled Mesut, who has been the engine in terms of creativity for us. Really evident that we are lacking that department. So the coach must just understand that it is high time he brings back Ozil. He must swallow his pride, take on Ozil and register in the next January transfer so that we can have a bit of creativity. And I hold the view that I don't think Arteta is going to test their way before the end of the season. I think he must be allowed to finish this season. However, there is an inherent danger there that we might be relegated.
But guys, I've said this. I've said this before. That I actually believe that if Arteta, might be a chance that Arsenal might actually go down.
Definitely.
Do you think that's too harsh, though?
But that's as bad as they are at the moment.
So do you think Ozil comes? Do you think Ozil comes into the side and sort of ties things up?
Nah.
He might not be able to do it by himself, but we all know what Oz can do, his capability, his capacity, and what his ability as a player. However, he has also his own downside. For example, he's lazy, and it makes whenever he's in, someone has got to put extra work because the man is well known for not having that stamina. However, where we are lacking as a team is the creativity side. So if we can arrange ourselves in such a way that was you can come in and play the usual number 10, give one or two passes, create this, or even if it's coming from the bench, at least something. Right now, we are to be making enough shots. The statistics, as Tinashe has alluded to, are shocking. This is not the usual Arsenal that we know. We have always been losing, not because we are not good, but because the defense was the weakest link.
That's terrible.
But as of now, going forward, I think we lack a midfield, we lack creativity, we let Ramsey go, Wilshere win. And as of now, we are left with only the likes of Thomas Partey, the likes of Elneny, and others who are defensive midfielders. So we need someone who can play that traditional either number 8 or number 10, giving the strikers some balls, 1 or 2. And I think that if we can do that, we can be a better side for the rest of the team.
Okay, so it seems as if everyone wants Ozil's return, and hopefully he can rescue Arsenal in some way. Even though I don't think he'll be able to, I think he just doesn't have that that drive. I think he's very talented, but I think you need that Bruno Fernandes in you, if I can say, to actually, almost revive a team, like what Bruno Fernandes has been doing for the past year, every game for Manchester United. But we won't go there yet.
I would like to say this. I would like to say that Mesut Ozil, of course, I don't think is the answer. He won't be able to carry Arsenal back to the top 4 where they had been for 20 plus years. But the fact that he earns 350K not to play football, that's something. That's the wrong thing with the Arsenal Football Club. Everyone who is leading that institution has to be questioned. How can you let someone who's getting 350K just not play at all?
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Let's get rid of him.
There's something that is quite shocking in this issue. We must remember very well that Arteta and Ozil were teammates before, and Ozil was playing when Arteta wasn't playing, when he was injured, when he was out there. So how then can teammates have so much life within a short space of time? What is needed is to find the reasons between this agreement between Ozil and the coach. Once we resolve that, Ozil must be brought back in. We are not saying that Ozil will single-handed carry us on the top 4, but we are saying let's bring him in, see what he can do. He has done something. The statistics are all for all to see. Let's give him the chance to come in. The truth of the matter is we are lacking creativity. And if we are lacking creativity, it is well known globally that Ozil has got that push for creativity.
Okay. Be interesting. So everyone seems to be, Tinashe, you're favoring a draw, Nakai is favoring a draw, I'm favoring a draw, and the Arsenal man said 2-0.
No. I said Burnley win.
You said Burnley win?
I said Burnley win.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Okay. So next we move on to Everton versus. I think next we can move on to Everton and Chelsea. Okay, next we can move on to Everton versus Chelsea. And Chelsea are in somewhat good form of late. They seem to have found the balance that everybody was looking for at Chelsea, and including the Chelsea fans. And Everton seem to be on some.
Okay, yes.
I think we can still discuss though. I think you said Everton and Arsenal. And Chelsea. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's an easy one though. Okay, Naka, you go first.
I was just okay. I think if we were playing against the Everton at the beginning of the season, I'd be worried. When Calvert-Lewin was at his prime, he was scoring goals every game. Like he was, like really strengthening that Everton side. Although that was in the beginning, now they've sort of lost the spark, maybe lost the energy, the momentum, I think, because they started off strong and then they've just been slowly declining. And I think the only real threat up front at Everton is Calvert-Lewin. And I think Chelsea's defense will definitely be able to handle him. So yeah, I think we're looking at a Chelsea win, not just coming from a Chelsea supporter, but genuinely a Chelsea win.
Yeah, of course. I sort of agree with you, but I just have to go to Terry. How good have been Chelsea? I know you don't like it, but how good are Chelsea? Do you think Everton stand any chance to make Chelsea drop points, considering the form?
Well, football is the art of the possible. Everton can win, can draw, if they can lose this game. However, I think I must make a few points on Everton. The Everton side started very, very well. They had a lot of firepower up front, they had a lot of flair, sophistry coming in with the likes of James Rodriguez. But of late, they've lost steam. Of late, they've fizzled out. So I accept a drubbing, a big one from Chelsea. I think that Chelsea is what it takes. They've got a strong squad. They've got squad depth. Those youngsters like Warner from Germany and Tammy Abraham and all these young players like Pulisic and others. And I hold the view that their midfield is quite strong with the likes of Kante and all these other midfielders they have, and the defense as well is quite solid. So going into this match, I don't see any opportunity for Everton scratching a win. However, we are just making predictions. Maybe the one or two things, considering that Carlo Ancelotti as a coach is very much more uh, experienced, is very much more traveled, is very much more updated tactically, better than Frank Lampard. So from a tactical point of view, yes, Everton can scratch something. That is if Carlo Ancelotti can come back to his old days. However, I think that with the quality that Chelsea has, holding all factors constant, they should come on top in this game. So I predict somewhat rather grudging a Chelsea win.
Yeah, Nigel, I've got a silly question for Tariro. I just wanted to ask, how does it feel when Arsenal suck so bad and Olivier Giroud is doing well with Chelsea, and they didn't want him at Arsenal?
Well, the guy did not fit. Giroud did not fit our style of play. That's the honest truth. We didn't say Giroud was not good, but he was not good for the Arsenal type of play. Maybe if he was there now, you'd be scoring because you're playing this boom boom type of soccer. It didn't.
Boom, boom.
This guy is crazy.
One way or the other. However, obviously, as its former employers, we are quite very much saddened by the mere fact that Giroud left us not doing very well. But when we talk of him doing very well, just scoring 4 goals, is that doing very well, or is just coming in every now and again causing problems? Because his future in that Chelsea side, in my view, is quite bleak because you've got Tim Warner and Tammy Abraham take over the reins. So, well, let's use on a few moments of glory.
You were just supposed to say something good about Giroud.
He brings up an important point though, where he says, I don't think Chelsea can hold on to all of those guys. Giroud, Werner, Abraham. I think someone's gonna have to leave. It'll be interesting to see who's gonna have to leave.
I think it's
Werner he wants to go down the middle, Pulisic is back. Pulisic, we all know, has to play. He has to play.
Mm.
So it'll be. I think it's going to be interesting. You wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think, of course, at the end of the day, I think Giroud is the one who's gonna have to leave, age
Yeah.
considering, because he's a lot older. Maybe he's gonna get a move to maybe one of those Italian clubs where he can play until he's 38 or something like that, or maybe go to the MLS for, you know, a huge payday. But yeah, and I also agree with you. Christian Pulisic has to play because he's the face. He's the face of the franchise.
He's the
Here we
brand.
go
He's the
again.
brand.
Not this. Not this again.
The American wonder kid is what to change the complexion of the game. Therefore, if Lampard is a coach worth his salt, that wonder kid from the United States must play, because I think that kid, from his time at Dortmund, has always shown that is something special in him, and Chelsea got a very good thing to scout with this young man. So I think that the policy will be in, and he will be running in that game.
The man that runs the show.
Definitely.
You make Tinashe very happy when you say
I also agree with Tinashe. I think Giroud is going to be the one to leave Chelsea, and I feel like it's going to be unfortunate because we've seen what Giroud brings to the team, and the goals he can score for the team, even coming on as a sub, how he changes the game, he changes the dynamic of the game. He's connecting with the ball in front of goal, scoring goals that Tammy Abraham fails to score sometimes. Tammy misses the ball, I think maybe 3 or 4 times per game. I don't know if that's an official statistic, but it's what I see. And it's so frustrating because, yes, Giroud, has the age and he knows how to play the game. Tammy is still quite young, early 20s, like 21, 22. So he still has a lot of learning to do, improving his technique. I think he needs to learn from Giroud as well, because some of those headers that Tammy misses, Giroud connects with easily, and he scores the goal. So I feel like if or when Giroud leaves Chelsea, I think we're gonna feel it. It is gonna be a loss that we are going to feel, definitely.
That's true. That's very true. And I just think Tammy, but I think he's still a bit young. I think maybe you have to see him in the next year or two, because I think some of these instincts and these, the positioning side of things, where to be, in such moments, it just comes with the more you play, the more you play these kind of games, you end up just knowing where to be, what to do in certain moments. So it'll be interesting to see Tammy in the next two years or so. Yeah.
Very true.
So I think everyone here is going for a Chelsea drumming of Everton.
I don't know if Tyro agrees.
Right.
Tyro just hates Chelsea, so maybe you may think otherwise.
No, I am objective. That's the thing. I don't like Chelsea, but I'm going to be objective. But speaking of one Tammy Abraham, I think that is one for the future. It's shown that he has got the capacity to be great, but he hasn't been able to strike that level of consistency that would like him to be. But I think that going forward, he is one of the good strikers who are going to come up in the EPL. His position is good as well, but there is room for improvement. Yes, he might learn 1 or 2 things from Giroud, but well, apart from headers, what else can Giroud do?
Oh, this is Giroud agenda. I'm telling you.
We should learn from them in terms of positioning in other things, other than the area where
Okay, so we've seen an Everton decline, especially in the last 5 or so games, where they've only managed to win 1 game, which is very different from the team we saw in the first 5 games or so. It's actually very sad, very, very sad. Okay, so I think Chelsea. Tinash, what are you doing? All right, welcome back to session 2. And we're going to start off with the Manchester derby, probably the biggest game of the weekend. And I just want to hear everyone's thoughts. I'm going to start off with Tinashe. Maybe he can give us what he thinks about Manchester City. And Pep Guardiola in this match.
Yeah. Get ready for some unbiased thoughts. Manchester derby. I'm just gonna predict a United win. They've been bossing this derby for maybe the past 2 seasons. Wait. What?
You can't
They're clearly the better team when it comes to this derby. They're clearly the better team when it comes to this derby, because if I look at it, I think in 2 seasons ago they won that match in that derby. Last season they won both matches in this derby. This year they're gonna keep the trend. They're gonna go on a 4-game winning streak in the Manchester derby. That's because I know Manchester United are in a difficult spot at the moment, but Manchester City, whenever I watch them, even the matches they've won, they're just so lethargic. They look so tired. It's like they don't want to play. I don't know why, but this is what I see. I'm sure. Wait, it's not about my hatred for Pep. I'm sure
it clearly is.
fellow... No, it's not. But guys, can you honestly tell me that they're not lethargic at the moment? They don't look tired at the moment. Men like KDB doesn't even have a goal from open play. Pogba has played way less minutes, and we have Pogba here, but he's got a goal from open play. KDB can't even score from open play.
But it's what he brings to Manchester City. It's what he brings to the team.
What is he bringing at the moment? I don't see it.
What do you mean you don't see what? Have you watched Manchester? Imagine Manchester City, as you're saying, in this difficult time they're having. Imagine them without KDB. That's surely a worse team to some extent.
Yeah.
At the moment, I would say they would have one less win. Just one less win, maybe.
Come on.
Not much of a difference.
You can't say
No, he's
that.
a good player, but I don't think he's in form.
Yeah, okay, he's not in form, but still he's got that quality that he brings. You can't deny that.
Yeah, you guys have to wait and see on Saturday what my guy Bruno is going to do supporting. 2-1 to Manchester United.
I mean, you can in some way, if you're not looking at the way that Manchester United are playing, you can say Manchester United win because they have 4 wins out of 5 in the last 5 games. So, and City only have 3. So, hey, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what Nakai thinks.
I feel like, guys, if we look at the way Man United has been playing, right? Yes, okay, they've won, but look at the way they've won, right? Even Rashford admitted it himself. He said that the first half, they always concede goals, right? They're always trailing first half, and then they make the comeback second half, right?
Mm-hmm.
With City, they're not going to be able to do that, guys. If you give City a chance first half to score, there's no way you'll be able to come back second half. If you act like that, and if they continue playing like how they're playing already, we saw in their Champions League game, I think it was yesterday, they did that same thing again, that same trend. They were trailing first half, I think 2-0, right? They tried to, I think it was 2-0, yeah. They tried to come back second half and it didn't work. They couldn't. And now look where they are, right? They've been knocked out of Champions League. And I feel like if they continue that streak against Man City, that is a dangerous trend. And it's a dangerous way to be winning your games. Yes, you managed to do it against teams like Southampton and those guys, but with Man City, you can't afford to let them get ahead of you, because you won't be able to catch up. I think that's my view on it.
It's a difficult one, I think, because Manchester United always seem to want to turn up for these big games, right? Especially when Ole is, under scrutiny. They almost it's now like, it's written in the stars that they will turn up. So it's going to be a very interesting one. I don't know what Mr. Tariro thinks about this one.
Ordinarily, City should be able to win this game. However, with the level of consistency in the league or the game, it can go either way. But if I'm to analyze both sides, I think that barring this recent loss by United in the Champions League, they've been doing very well. Shows that they've got some level of anger, shows that they are very much committed. And this gentleman called Bruno Fernandes is coming with that sort of inducement, that energy that was lacking in United. And I think that they are going to, especially now that their manager is under scrutiny, their manager might as well be fired. I expect them to come out guns blazing. As for City, I don't know, because they've demonstrated so far any will to be winning games of this magnitude. They lack character, like Tinashe said, they are lethargic. They don't have energy. They are too weak. So they might as well win, but I would want to maybe, if I'm to go for a safe bet, then a draw will be something that we are looking at. However, it's more likely that United might turn out very much a different side and win this game, considering the trend that is going on for the last few games.
Okay. But is it the hunger side that's lacking for Manchester City, or it's just them being ruthless? They're not the same team. They're not ruthless enough.
I think that this team called City has been trying to dominate the EPL for the last almost 3 seasons. The last 2 seasons they won, and the last season they thought they could win as well, but lost to Liverpool. And now I think that there must be a big changes in this squad. This squad has done what it can, and there's need for new players. The KDBs of this world, yes, he's a good player, but I think that there is it has come a time when they need to not necessarily dispose of him or to sell him per se, but they can bring in someone who can compete with it. Because I think the lack of competition there is allowed him to go to sleep. He's now just an ordinary player. He doesn't play with the sort of agents that is needed in that position. And I think that the whole squad is just not, they are just playing like it's ordinary. There's a sense in which the coach must bring in new faces to compete with these old guys, or even sell them if you can, because I don't see them winning the league, this sort of inconsistency that they have. And going forward as well, I think they are strikers, especially this young man from Brazil, Jesus. They are not consistent for this season. They seem to be scoring on part-time basis, and you cannot win such games with an unreliable strike. But after all is said and done, City are pretty solid. They can simply turn up in any game. They have what it takes. They've got the squad. They've got the quality. So it's going to be a difficult game, considering that these games are quite weird in that they don't have supporters. It can't be in there cheering them on. So it's the atmosphere itself is subdued to start with. But United are likely to be the better side coming. Even if they lose, I think that United put a very good show in games such as this.
Yeah, but these are the games that United like when they don't have the ball. When they don't have the ball, they seem to be almost ruthless on the counter attack because of the pace they have. They just have too much pace going forward, and I think that's what they like. I don't know why they didn't do that against RB Leipzig. I think that's what they should have done from the get-go, but that's another story. And I think we also had a similar discussion with Tinashe where we talked about Manchester City almost having to not necessarily go for an overhaul, but just to bring in freshness into the squad. There's some players that left, like David Silva and Vincent Kompany, which they still haven't really replaced. So it's almost like KDB needs someone to play with. I don't know if you just take the attention off him take the weight off him and just have someone else who's reliable, who's almost as reliable as him to almost help him, especially going forward. I don't know what you guys think about that, the transition that City are going through at the moment. Yes.
I would say that transition is going to be unsuccessful just by the fact that their manager cannot recruit talent. He can only use talent that he has been given. If you look at his past record, yes, he's been in many places and won, but has he ever recruited a player? At Barcelona, he was busy recruiting guys like Seydou Keita. Those guys were never integral to the team. He went to Bayern. He was recruiting some German youngsters like Sebastian Rode and stuff, but they never came into the team to make an impact. Just like at City now, he's buying these part-time players like Ferran Torres and all. They'll run around for a few weeks, but that guy, you can tell from looking at him from day one, he's never going to be an integral part to City. If and when Pep leaves, he's maybe going to have an extra year, then he's going to leave as well. He's never going to be like one of those players who's going to be integral to the squad. And you actually look at the City bosses, this is a question I've had. When they extended Pep's contract, they only gave him 2 years. Why did they give him 2 years if they think that this guy is actually our future? I think they're giving him 2 years so that if it doesn't work out, when they have to sack him, it's not going to be as expensive.
Don't you think it's just the case of now they just won the Champions League? Like they're saying,
maybe they have to concentrate on that. Yeah,
they're saying over the next 2 years you won the Champions League.
Yeah, they have to concentrate on that.
Speaking of the Champions League, yes, they've got to concentrate on the Champions League. However, I do not see them having the depth of squad to compete at that level, because the Champions League, you need at least strong players, particularly in the area of creativity. And as of now, there's only KDB and who else? David Silva has gone, others have gone. So for the Champions League this year, maybe they can come with a surprise, but as it seems, it looks like they might not be able to win it. And if they are to compete for the Champions League next season, then they have to invest very, very seriously in defense. They have to invest in the middle of the pack. They have to invest up front. They have to invest up front. In the wings, I think they can commit. They have also lost Leroy Sané, who I thought was a promising.
Very important.
But,
yeah.
He's not there. And Mahrez Sterling and the others can do something for those positions. However, they need to recruit some sort of a squad overhaul, particularly in the middle of the pack, and going back to defense for them to compete at that level.
Okay, just a quick side topic. What do you think City lacks in winning the Champions League? What is sort of the missing piece? Because it seems as if they have everything, but
number one,
yes.
The number one, I hold the view that they lack the character, because the Champions League is different from EPL. In terms, you have to keep the tempo as it is, home and away. That's number one. Number two, they should be developing code fit when they go away to play those outside in the Etihad Stadium. And when you are playing the Champions League, you have to put so much effort with the away game, because you have a disadvantage, and they have not been doing that. So yeah, they are just lacking that edge, that that level of character needed to go towards the next level. And I think that when you look at the way Liverpool played when they won the Champions League at the time, they had it. And you could see how they were winning, beating the likes of Bayern Munich. Didn't they win in Munich? If I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
They actually won in Munich. And City able to pull such kind of thing. So going forward, I think that City needs to work in terms of the away game. They need also to work in terms of how they approach these knockout games, because quarterfinal, semi-final, that's it. Once you lose the first leg, you have to maybe try fight to win the second leg. Lose the second leg, that's it. And they haven't been able to pull themselves through that. The Champions League is not a walk in the park. It's one day.
Okay. Tinashe, so you had something to say?
It's the coach. They can't win the Champions League just because of the coach. Wait, let me explain. Let me explain this. This has been. I look at trends and patterns. Let's look at his time at Bayern Munich. Yet this tendency of when he gets to this big game, just sort of like change the system. There's a saying that has been given out by a better coach than Pep Guardiola. You know, a senior in terms of coaching when it comes to this coaching thing. Jose Mourinho said, when it comes to these big matches, the biggest of occasions, familiarity is key. Give the players the simplest of messages, what they're used to. They perform better on big occasions. But Pep tends to do it the other way around. The bigger it gets, the more confused he gets, the more he confuses his players. Take, for example, last season versus Lyon. City were playing a 4-3-3, they were playing well. Then all of a sudden, they play Lyon. Now he wants to use a three-man defense, 3-5-2, trying to change things too much, trying to put trying to fit Rodri and Gundogan in his midfield. And these guys, you know, they are useless when it comes to legs in the midfield, the defensive side of the game. They will cost you all the time. So that's what happened. Then they lost. So he always does this. At Bayern, he used to do that. He's played Lam for a long time during the season at right back. Come the Champions League, yes, he's quite adept at playing in midfield, but he puts him in midfield versus the young legs of guys like Koke and Saul. Then he gets overrun. Then they lose the match. So he always makes those mistakes. These are, you know, mistakes he brings upon himself. These are not like unfortunate, you know, occurrences. He brings it upon himself. So he should take this criticism. I think the only reason why City haven't won the Champions League is because of Pep, because they've actually been to a semi-final before he was appointed as manager of Man City. Then ever since, they can't even make it past the quarterfinals.
Okay.
I think maybe with Pep, what it is he sort of like crumbles, right? If he sees something's going wrong, he crumbles, and like his tactics get, you know, confused in his head or whatever it is. And I think sort of like Tinashe mentioned as well, is like with the small games, like if we look at EPL, like the games he was playing with Fulham, like they won that game by far. The small teams, I forgot what the other team was, but it was a small team as well. But then when they come against the big ones, like with Liverpool, then it's like, you know, that momentum goes down the drain, and it all gets messed up, and then they struggle to score. I don't know what's going on with the players. Again, like you said, Pep is confused. The players also get confused, and then they fail to win the game. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be tricky. But I still feel like City can win.
So you guys are just saying basically it's Pep's fault because he complicates things when it comes to these big games. He doesn't do what the players are used to, what they've done the whole season, what's got them there. He changes the whole system. Okay, that's interesting. Quick, that was a nice side topic. And then we'll move on to the final game. Okay, let's tell you.
Sorry, I was just saying that speaking of the Champions League, I think blaming everything on Pep is rather far-fetched in my view, because even before he came in, they were not winning the Champions League. They might have reached the semis, but they were not winning the Champions League. But I share those kind of sentiments that they tend to crumble, especially when they are trying to come from behind. They tend to lose steam in that thing. But I also think that what has been a problem for them is that they've been chasing the EPO at the same time they're trying to chase the Champions League. So when you are doing that, it means they have got to be playing week in, week out, and I mean, it has got a psychological or even a physical effect on the players. So going forward, I think the City must choose what they want. If for this season, for example, they can let go of the Premier League and try to chase the Champions League. Because look at teams like Bayern Munich are on a roller coaster in Bundesliga. They have no competition. The Juventus of this world also on a roller coaster. The Spanish guys. So you can't compete with those. because they can win at 50%, but in the EPL you can't win at 50%. So if they forego the EPL and focus on the Champions, maybe they might as well clinch it this time around.
I also want to blame Kevin De Bruyne because he always runs away in big games when Manchester City need him. But that's a story for another day.
He's like his coach.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to move on to the midweek game here. Still a bit far, but big game nonetheless. Number 1 and 2, Liverpool and Tottenham. I'm going to be straightforward here. I think Liverpool are going to get beaten. I think Jose Mourinho is going to get them. It's going to get the best of them. I don't think Liverpool stand a chance in this one. I don't know what you guys think.
Is it being played at Anfield or at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Yeah, at Anfield.
Anfield.
No chance. Tottenham is not winning. It's like the ghosts over there at Anfield. No team can just beat Liverpool, but I'll give them a draw just because they are so good. Tottenham will draw this match. It's going to be a draw. Mourinho is going to set up defensively, make sure that nothing hurts his team. Then he's going to take the point. He's going to be very happy with the point.
Okay, interesting one.
I think a draw or a Liverpool win. I really think so, because one, the Liverpool have their fans back at Anfield. I think that's going to play a major role in the confidence and the atmosphere and the players as well. And also Trent, although his first game was his first game was Champions League. Trent is back in his rightful position. I feel like Trent makes a major difference to that squad. Trent's crosses are lethal. They are deadly, right? One good cross into the box, Salah connects, it's a goal, So I think it's going to be a good game. I think either a draw or a Liverpool win. That's my prediction. I do think Tottenham's going to score, but I feel like Liverpool's going to clutch the win.
Okay. Mr. Terrio.
Oh yes, I think that this is a clash of the titans. Both teams seem to be good sides. They're doing well tactically as the coaches have been. I hold the view that Liverpool might have an edge over this one. However, I'm quite worried with the way Liverpool play sometimes. They seem to be too predictable, especially when front guys, the Mane, the Salah, is. So if Mourinho, being a tactical genius that he used to be, I don't think he's still now. He might have some sort of divine connection and be able to stop these guys. So I won't be surprised if Tottenham wins the game. However, it's looking more towards the Liverpool side of things, because Liverpool, I think in terms of quality, they are much better. And considering that this game is going to be played at Anfield in front of Coke, there is the sense in which they will carry this one. But Tottenham as well are not to be underestimated. They are a big side. They are competitive, especially with the likes of Harry Kane, and I'm told Bale is in there as well, and many of these other players. So it's maybe for a draw, gravitating towards a win for Liverpool, in my view. But Tottenham may as well just come, but you can take it.
I disagree with you guys a lot. I think Tottenham are going to win this one, like I said. I think Jose Mourinho, like Tinashe said, he's going to set up, he's going to make sure that Liverpool have no way of entering. Nothing. I think he's going to have a man on Salah, he's going to have a man on Mane. And I think Tottenham have more than enough quality to hurt Liverpool. So I think that's simply what he's going to do. And I also think it's very difficult to stop a team when they start gaining some sort of, yes, they may not say it, but some sort of belief, some sort of momentum. It just gives them some sort of edge. I think we saw that even when Leicester won the league. They just seem to have this belief and this edge, and I think that's what's going to carry Tottenham in this game, and that's what might carry Tottenham all the way this season. So I think they're going to win this match. I think they're going to beat Liverpool at Anfield, and this is going to be the start of a Liverpool collapse this season. I say this.
Okay, I can give you one thing. I can say if there's anyone to beat Liverpool at Anfield, I think it's Mourinho.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's not going to be a straw in the pack. It might happen, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 2.5.
He has no belief in Jose Mourinho.
Side question, guys. I remember when before the season started, Nigel had said that Salah is not gonna get 20 Premier League goals. Do you guys also believe the same thing?
How many goals does he have now?
Yeah, that is not going to get 20 Premier League goals.
No chance. I think he's gonna definitely.
How many does he have now? I'm looking for the standings.
I'm not sure how many years.
Yeah,
now.
but come on, guys. Taro, what do you think? Do you think that Salah might not get 20 Premier League goals?
Might not get them because you see the way he has been playing of late is a good player, but he's not at his usual best. So I don't think that unless if he can come back a different person, like going into the second half of the season, he might be able to get them. But from my own way of things as of now, he won't get. Maybe he can be at 18, 17, 16, at 20.
You guys are haters. You guys don't know
He's
Salah.
got
Salah
9
is like
goals right now.
Oh, he's on 9 goals right now. So
Yeah.
you guys are just telling me he won't be able to get
In 10
11
matches.
goals.
I don't.
9 goals in 10 matches. So he's not gonna get 11 goals in the remaining 28 games.
Yes, that is what I think.
Wow.
I think
That's
here's what I think. I think Liverpool are going to start to almost not really fall apart, but not be at that level they've always been for the past 2 seasons. That's why I think he won't make 20 goals. That's why I think he will make 20 goals. I don't believe Salah is going to make 20 goals this season.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. Okay. So
I also want to make an admission, guys.
Okay.
There's a guy I used to berate and always say that he's not good enough for his club. He should play in the championship. And I want to say I stand corrected. Eric Dyer has been playing so well for Tottenham. He's helped that defense has been very solid.
Moved.
So this is my own public apology to Eric Dyer. I think he has helped Tottenham.
I will not apologize yet. No.
No, but look at me. As I've always said, guys, when the facts change, my opinion changes. When he was playing bad, I used to berate him, but now he's playing quite well. He's actually helping the team. He's still got a few mistakes in him, but he's been playing well. So I'll give him some credit.
He has been playing at that level for Tottenham for quite a number of years now. He might not be the best, but he can hold his own on a good day. And I think that Pochettino during his days was able to utilize that effectively, because there was a time where I was quite confused that Dyer was for the future, but as he began playing, especially in the early Mourinho days, I had to resign with that kind of prediction, because he was now beginning to play like some as defender of sorts. But it's a good thing that he is back on his feet right now, and at that level he can. But championship, I think that it's really a personal kind of a personal assault on the man. I think that is way better than championship. At the level of Tottenham, he can compete. But on a bad day, he can play someone who's quite possessed with this African spirit, and you wonder whether he is eaten, angry, or he
But why did you have to call it an African spirit, though? It can just be a spirit.
Maybe some spirit that he can be paid. Sometimes you wonder whether drunk or is intoxicated. I remember a game I saw last weekend. His legs were broken. The guy was causing all sorts of problems. And he ended up getting a red card as well.
Eric, I think I'll wait to give my public apology. I think I'll wait another 10 games, and then if he continues to do what he's doing, then I'll give my public apology. As for now, I don't think he's a good center half or a good player, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I think that brings an end to this week's episode, the Lead In, and we'll see you guys next week. Please subscribe, share, and like the video. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching TK Sports. For more awesome content from this channel, please subscribe. And also engage with us on our social media platforms down in the description below.